I would rather have the 9.3 by 62, but I've used 35 Whelen a lot in decades gone by. I like it. Certainly useful for North America. Again, your shots are limited to around 300 yards unless you're a good exterior ballistician and you understand your range and your bullet drop. It has the power to kill elk out to 400. Hi folks, this is Tim Sundles. My beautiful wife Kim is filming on her iPhone, and I want to talk about a super useful cartridge for North America and for Africa. Mostly the 9.3 by 62 is what I'm going to be talking about. But I've got the other European 9.3s here as well to go over. So let's look at these cartridges. I'm using a fireplace poker because it's long enough I don't have to stand up. This is a 30-06 that I put here just for reference. This is a 35 Whelen. This is, and the 35 Whelen is just so popular in America. And I, again, put it there for reference. And these are, the 06 case is what makes the 35 Whelen. 35 Whelen is just an 06 necked up to 358. Next to it, you can see the 9.3 by 62. Now you'll notice that the shoulder on this one is pushed further forward and there's less body taper on it. So this bullet, well, this cartridge holds 5-6 grains more powder than the 35 Whelen does. So it is more powerful just in terms of powder capacity. So the 35 Whelen is a .358 diameter bullet. The 9.3s are a .366 inch bullet. So just slightly bigger than the 35 Whelen, slightly smaller than the 375 H&H. The case is interesting. This cartridge it's a German cartridge invented by a guy named Otto Bock, and he brought it out in 1905 because so many Europeans were moving to Africa to settle Africa. It was free land, and they couldn't afford, most of these guys didn't have a lot of money. They couldn't afford big magnum Mauser length actioned guns. So Otto Bock took a cartridge that's very, very similar to our 06, blew the body taper out, moved the shoulder forward, and by so doing, increased the powder capacity, and he necked it up to .366 inch or 9.3 millimeters. And there you have it. The 9.3 by 62 in a modern Mauser action, it just takes standard length actions. You don't need the big magnum Mauser length actions. So anything an 06 will fit into, the 9.3 by 62 will fit into. And this cartridge here is the 9.3 by 64 Brennecke. So it's everything that I said about the 9.3 by 62, but it's 2 millimeters longer, holds slightly more powder, still fits in a standard length action that an 06 will fit in. It's the most length you can squeeze into a standard length action. And then at the very end, we have the 9.3 by 74, which is designed for double rifles. It's a low pressure double rifle cartridge. And I think it came out in 1900. And by the way, the 9.3 by 64 Brennecke came out in 1927. I have quite a bit of experience with all of these, and I'll go through the guns with you. Let's talk about a really interesting gun first. This 9.3 by 62 Sauer, and I've just been shooting it, is a Field Ethos gun made by Sauer. They make this just for Field Ethos. It's got a 21.5-inch long barrel. It gives incredible accuracy. The neat thing about this cartridge, for example, if you look here at some of the factory loads, you've got right here a 300 grain full metal jacket. The bullet is made by Hornady. It's made just for shooting, really thick skinned, like if you wanted to make brain shots on elephant, that's what it's made for. And then right here, you've got another Hornady bullet. It's the 286 grain jacketed soft nose. And then here, you've got my favorite, the 250 grain TSX, Barnes TSX bullet. And we run those at 2650. These we run at 2450. And these, I think the box says 2380. I know that they run 2400 in the Field Ethos rifle because I was just testing them. So if you want a really good, ready to go, easy to scope rifle, this is it. And it'll say Field Ethos on the magazine box, and this is their design that Sauer is making for them. I love the fit and the feel. It feels really good, and it just shoots like a house of fire. The Sauer action is really a nice Sauer. This is not the Sauer action of old. Those were all, FN Mausers or some kind of a Mauser. This is a push feed. And I've used it a lot. I haven't seen it fail to cycle once yet, or even show a hint of any kind of issue. And like I've said all along, push feed rifles, push feed actions, when they're right, they're right. And there's just nothing wrong with them. Very, very cool Field Ethos gun. Field Ethos calls this model the Exception. That's what they name it. And, they're going to be on the market fairly soon. Sensor Tube won't let me tell you how to get them, but it's the Field Ethos rifle. So that should tell you enough. Okay. This is a 9.3 by 64 Brennecke made by Roger Beeson, the son of famed gunsmith Al Beeson. Very nice rifle. Put a super pretty piece of wood on it. It shoots very nice. There's just nothing wrong with it. And I'm getting, close to 100 feet a second more with the 9.3 by 64 than I am with the 9.3 by 62. And the interesting thing about the 9.3 by 62, if you don't ever think you're going to shoot past 300 yards, it's very flat shooting. The recoil is mild on the cartridge. It's essentially just an improved .6 case. And if you know what you're doing, it has the power, to kill elk and stuff like that well past 300 yards. But you have to know what you're doing because your trajectory will start to rainbow on you a little bit past 300 yards. Anyway, just wanted y'all to see this Roger Beeson 9.3 by 64. Really a nice rifle. I haven't had the chance to get out and hunt with it or kill anything with it. Too busy doing videos. This is a Weaver custom rifle, custom rifles rifle. They're somewhere, I think, in Colorado. I bought it used, and another 9.3 by 64. And the reason I have two is because I was considering bringing out factory ammo, but not going to. So I'll probably have to sell one of these 9.3 by 64s. I just really have no use for them. Now we get back into the 9.3 by 62s. I have a lot of experience with the 9.3 by 62. This gun is just covered in dust. I've had it in my side-by-side driving around looking for moose. And it's just dust covered. Got a friend up here with a moose tag. And so I've been doing a lot of glassing and looking for a giant bull. And he's out hunting right now while I'm doing videos. But we did find a giant bull yesterday. He's out looking for it. I mean, a record book bull. You know, I hike a lot with this rifle. I just carry it around. To me, it's a utility rifle. It's 110 years old. It's also a Sauer, a J.P. Sauer and Son. And of course, I'm shooting aperture sights, and it's got a 21-inch barrel on it. And I got a coyote with it the other day. I mean, out in the sagebrush, you know, everybody thinks long range scopes, you know, and no, he took off trotting through the sagebrush, and I just dropped him with one shot from this. And of course, you know, if you like double set triggers, they're pretty cool. It only takes about 2 ounces of trigger pull now. Get my hand out of the way. You just touch it. You know, when I shoot, I don't use the set trigger. I just shoot. I don't use a set trigger. Okay. You've seen the Field Ethos 9.3 by 62. And here's another really old German-made half round, half octagon barrel, just like this old Sauer and Son. And oh gosh, I'm trying to remember who made this. It's made by that's Suhl, Germany. Trying to remember the name. Okay, here it is. It's a Kerner rifle, Kerner and Sons, Emil Kerner. I restocked it because the stock broke on this 110 or 15-year-old rifle. I just love this old German styling, you know, with the spoon handle bolt or butter knife bolt, whatever you want to call them, half round, half octagon barrels, and, you know, full length ribs. And all I've been using this one for is developing ammo. Really a nice rifle. Has some nice tasteful engraving, red stag on the bottom. I mean, it's just nicely done. Buffalo horn grip cap like they always did. Really a cool gun. I don't know what it's worth. I didn't pay much for it, except for when I had to restock it. I paid more to restock it than I paid for the gun. 9.3 by 74. This is a Rizzini over and under. It's my only 9.3 by 74. Nice rifle. I bought it just for testing ammo. I've never really used it much for anything. Really a nice rifle. When you find the right load, it regulates quite well. But like it is with all doubles, you've got to find the right load. And the original bullet weights for these were 286 grains. So you go to that bullet weight like in a nozzler partition, and it will regulate. So anyway, here's the 9.3s. I hope it's somewhat educational. There's only, if you're a 35 Whelen shooter, the 9.3 by 62 is a step up in power. And Americans love their 35 Whelen. I would rather have the 9.3 by 62, but I've used 35 Whelen a lot in decades gone by. I like it. Certainly useful for North America. Again, your shots are limited to around 300 yards unless you're a good exterior ballistician and you understand your range and your bullet drop. It has the power to kill elk out to 400, but it's, you know, like I said, the rainbow trajectory starts in after 300. Anyway, folks, have a really good day, and God bless. We'll see you on the next video.